Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope you had a great day overall, man. I figured I'd tap in with y'all to continue discussing what's going on in the boxing world. We're gonna speak about Adrien Broner getting kicked off of Cameron's show. It is what it is after disrespecting his co-host. We're gonna get into Shakur versus Teofimo Lopez possibly being staged by the PBC, and then we're gonna get into some open boxing topics. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the building thus far. If y'all could go ahead and hit the like button as soon as y'all come in, that'd be very much appreciated. You see what I'm saying? We on the road to 4K. We well to the 3,100 mark, about to hit that 3,200 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. All right, y'all. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. I already see a whole bunch of comments. Shout out to Marissa Alvarez with the first comments of the day. I'm doing well, Marissa. Thank you very much. Thierry Scott, what up? Yeah, man. Broner out here tripping. Forever dedicated. What up? Calm-minded. What up? Simba Boxing. What up? Mastermind 96. What up? He talking about excellent commentary. I ain't even start yet, brother, but shout out to the boy Mastermind. Bad Boom Balloon. Chris Maldonado. Dana White just confirmed the power slap motherfucker's total payout is $10 million. What you mean? For one person? Or is that spread out throughout the whole roster? Coffee Plant, what up? Talk to me, brother. How y'all doing? I'm feeling very well, man. I can't complain. I got my son sleeping in the other room. You know what I mean? Good day at the gym. Good sparring. Good sparring. We're going to be more than ready on October 10th. You feel what I mean? Speaking of October 10th, man, we got a great amateur show the day before Jerron Ennis's fight. You know, the night prior, we're going to be having an amateur show at Pivot Boxing Academy, showcasing some of the best talent in the tri-state area, man. Feel free to come through, get you a ticket, get you a VIP ticket, get you a general admission ticket. You feel what I mean? It's going to be showcasing some fantastic boxing. And this is going to be our 12th show, and every show that we've had has been a sellout. You feel what I mean? Not like Najee from Jaguar talk, not that type of sellout, but, you know, selling out the entire building for amateur boxing. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to the boy Lamont. Hey, what up? Agent 86, what up? We definitely going to talk about it. Oh, my God, Ralph is in the building. What up? The whole roster. Okay, Bad Boom says the whole roster, I believe. He just said total payout on Logan Paul podcast. UFC motherfuckers need a raise if that's the case. I mean, we've been saying that for the longest, but you know what I mean? Dana going to do what he do. And I guess them MMA people, you know, those MMA fighters, they feel stuck because they probably feel like they can't get, although they do feel like they're being underpaid, they're not going to get a better payout anywhere else. So, because the UFC is the biggest corporation. And I don't think any other, you know, company that showcases pro MMA bouts is paying more than Dana. So they probably feel like they can't do any better. It's almost like a woman when they're in a relationship with a man, they get treated like shit by this man. They abused by this man. Whatever the case is, he's an asshole, piece of shit, whatever. They stick around because the motherfucker might have some money and they probably realize they can't do better anywhere else. So they rather just deal with the bullshit than move on. You know what I mean? Because they might have to settle for less after the fact and they comfortable where they at. It's probably how the way these UFC dudes, you know, carrying it right now. But that's crazy. No wonder Ilya trying to get a buff fight. Yeah, I understand. Look, you think these MMA fighters want to fight boxers, bro? You think they want to put like if they devoted their whole life for many years to MMA, you think they want to transition and put on boxing gloves for what? I just did all this hard work in this particular mixed martial arts. Why would I throw all of that away to put on some boxing gloves? A totally different sport. Because the first sport that I was in that I devoted my life to ain't paying me enough, or at least an amount where, you know, I can hang up the gloves. You know what I mean? It's really, to me, it's looking like these guys be motherfucking living check to check. That's what it be looking like to me. Relying on bonuses to get y'all by. I don't know, man. And these UFC guys got to pay their corners, pay their managers, Just like these boxing guys do. When they end up paying out everybody and then paying taxes, they not really left with nothing. So if you're getting 50,000, so what they be doing, like 100,000, but they be like 50 to show up, 50 after the fight. Bro, you only coming home with like 30 racks. You only coming home with like 30 racks. That's like a solid down payment on a row house in Philly. But you know, it is what it is, man. I don't really like to talk about what people make. If they happy with it, then it is what it is. But anyways, let's get into the boxing talk, man. That boy Adrien Broner is man, it's very disappointing. You know what I mean? It's very disappointing to see exactly where Adrien Broner is at this point in his career. It's like that guy cannot put the bottle down whatsoever. And I was one of the very few people that came on here and said that Adrien Broner had a problem. Everybody's thinking, and you know, not no pun intended, because you know that's his nickname and stuff like that. But this dude has serious issues, unaddressed issues, to be honest with you. And we've seen it happen very early on in his career. And I think, in all honesty, the money just made it worse. I think it just aggravated whatever problems he had, you know, after the fact. You feel what I'm saying? And you know, it's sad to see exactly where Adrien Broner is, because Adrien Broner was at the top of the sport at one point. They was comparing him to Floyd Mayweather. I never personally thought he was Floyd, but you know, he was promoting himself really well, and he was making some noise in boxing. He got some big fights, you know, the McDonough fight. You know what I mean? He got the Sean Porter fight. You know, he got the Pacquiao fight. This dude made millions of dollars, man. And he really had nobody to really sit there and tell him. I mean, he had some people around him that was trying to help him and had their best interests, like Al Heyman. But unfortunately, man, Adrien Broner just couldn't seem to get out of his own way. And the people that he helped bring up in boxing pretty much surpassed him, like Gervonta Davis. And I said that Adrien Broner is a cancer to anybody that he's around. You feel what I'm saying? And I think that the reason why Gervonta Davis had a low point in his career at one particular time was because he was chilling with Adrien Broner so much. And I don't think it's a coincidence at all that once Gervonta Davis left Adrien Broner, he started doing better. You feel what I mean? He stood on weight. He stood disciplined. It was every time he was around Broner, he was blowing up in weight, stomach all big, face all swollen. You know what I'm saying? Like, Adrien Broner is the worst type of person to be around if you're looking to stay focused and locked in on boxing, because everything that Adrien Broner did throughout his career went against the grain in terms of boxing. And that's why boxing has not rewarded him for his efforts. If anything, you know what I mean? Boxing has shown how many corners he's cut, you know, and all the discipline that he lacked in his career. Like, you know, you would have never told me back when Adrien Broner was in his prime that he would have lost to a Blair Cobbs. Like, and there's no disrespect to Blair Cobbs. He's a solid fighter, but you know, Adrien Broner was at a level where a lot of people believed that he was next up, like he was going to be the next big star in boxing. So for him, you know, fast forward to lose to a Blair Cobbs and end up being signed with Don King after spending all the money that Al Heyman was holding for you, it's like you couldn't really predict that. You feel what I'm saying? But boxing has a way of humbling any and everybody in some sort of way. You know what I'm saying? And I remember Adrien Broner did that. He said a few things that caught my attention. First of all, this ain't the first podcast that Adrien Broner went up on. It was drunk. You know what I mean? I was actually one of the people that came on here and was highly and heavily critical of the Donza Project for releasing. And I think that's the first time I heard of the Donza Project. But they released like an interview of Adrien Broner, and he was completely intoxicated. He couldn't even keep track of what he was saying. He was slurred and all that. And they faced criticism so heavily, they ended up taking the video down. You see what I mean? But at the end of the day, Adrien Broner shouldn't even be that intoxicated when he's in the middle of, you know, wrapping up his boxing career. You know what I'm saying? But Adrien Broner has always had these issues. I remember he did an interview talking about how for camp, and this is how I knew that he was heavily relying on alcohol and how severe his issues were, because he said that during training camp, he would cut alcohol cold turkey. Like, the fact that he even had to say that just lets you know how reliant he was on it, or how heavy of a drinker he was. And he said for the first 2 weeks of camp, he'll have the shakes. The shakes. I remember being so dehydrated when I was going through my health issues that I would have the shakes uncontrollably. And the only way that it'll go away is if I hydrated myself. You feel what I'm saying? The fact that this man was having the shakes for 2 weeks into camp when he cut alcohol cold turkey, that just lets you know that Adrien Broner just wake up and put a bottle to the face. And he don't go to sleep without putting a bottle to the face. Like, that's heavy addiction on Adrien Broner's side. And we seen how, you know, the lifestyle that he's been living has ultimately destroyed his, you know, his financial well-being. You know what I'm saying? And I remember he was talking about how Al Heyman was holding money for him because Al Heyman probably had the impression that Broner wasn't responsible for his money, so he had his best interest in keeping it. And Broner was getting so frustrated with Al Heyman for, you know, looking for his best interest that he pretty much had to curse Al Heyman out to give him the money that he was looking for. You know what I'm saying? And then it went from wiring a few thousand a day to, you know, being down to, you know, $50 a day. And then all the money's gone. And now you tripping that Al Heyman ain't giving you no opportunities. Bro, he tried to look for your best interest. You put all your money down the drain, you can't be mad at nobody but yourself. To the point where you had to sign with Don King in order to make ends meet. And Don King done been blackballed out of the boxing game for years, for decades now. Don King ain't got no big signees, but you had to sign with him in order to, you know, get you a bonus or whatever the case is so you could feed you and however many kids you got. But anyways, I said all of that to say Cameron posted, you know, he got this big podcast called It Is What It Is with Mace, and then he got a co-host by the name of Stat Baby. Her name is also Treasure Wilson, and I've been watching their podcast for a good amount of time now, so I'm aware of who they are. And, you know, Treasure Wilson is a sweet girl. She's not problematic, professional. You know what I mean? Cam and Mace, they could get out of pocket at times, but they're very entertaining. And, you know, they're usually respectful to their guests. You feel what I mean? I think they're the type people, if they genuinely didn't like somebody, they want to bring them on their platform. So they was being very respectful to Adrien Broner. But Adrien Broner was a bit excessive in how the way he was moving with Treasure Wilson. You know what I'm saying? For what I understand, Treasure's pretty young. You know what I mean? I'm assuming she's illegal. You know what I mean? She's at a legal age, but she's pretty young. And you could tell, I'm going to actually play the video for y'all to see, but you could tell that Treasure Wilson was, you know, trying to like laugh things off and, you know, try to not be uncomfortable in the situation. But Broner was a bit excessive. And that's what let me know, besides like his slurred speech and stuff like that, that he had a little bit too much to drink. You know what I'm saying? So let's actually get into this video right here. Let's get into it.
Good in person.
Thank you. I
real.
appreciate that.
Hey, what you waste that? I love you.
That's some wild shit to say to a girl when you don't even fucking know her and you just meeting her in person for the first time. Because he started off by saying, damn, you look better in person. So when somebody's saying that, that means that they just seen you in person for the first time. And that's their first impression of seeing you in person. You feel what I'm saying? To go follow up with a I love you, that could be very uncomfortable for a woman. You know what I'm saying? And like he was really pushing these buttons. I don't know if it was live. I don't know if it was live, Bad Boom. But this was very cringeworthy. I ain't gonna lie to you, and very embarrassing. But you know, Adrien Broner, he clearly doesn't have any shame. Let's move on.
What a guy. I'm sorry. My bad, y'all. My bad.
Arabia, is that a real background?
Hey, Stat, could you stop
Yes.
smiling? Can you stop smiling? You
Arabia is
Nah, yo,
Arabia, who from what I understand is like an NFL analyst, she's over here trying to talk football. Adrien Broner is going out of his way to like interrupt the show, and I think that's what really pissed Cam off. Like you fucking with his show, like you throwing off the vibe, like you fucking up the fluidity of the show. So he goes and he's like, Treasure, he says, Stat, baby, could you stop smiling? Like, huh? Why is that bothering you so much? And why are you interrupting like this ain't like it, and it's kind of not like it, they run this shit like an actual show. It's professional as such. They wearing suits and all types of shit. You got to move accordingly. So Cam responds as he should. You know what I mean? Let's hear what he got to say.
Bro, some G, yo, bro. Some G shit. We gotta have boyfriend here, yo.
Right. Oh shit.
I told you that.
My bad.
Nah, like it's all like okay, we guess we can move on to football then.
Stat. Oh my god.
Just that. Let's do the football. I guess that answered the question about Floyd. When I see you taking off some time,
I'm mesmerized by stat.
Bro.
I did not know you looked that good in person. My bad, bro.
And you could tell Cam trying to stay composed. Like, look at his face. You can tell he trying to be composed. Look at his face. Like, he's trying to stay real chill, but Adrien just really pushing buttons and fucking up the whole vibe in that joint. I get it. And Cam and it sound like Cam just said literally, and I just caught on to this. He was like, yo, bro, like, I already told you this. So they must have had like a conversation prior to the show where it's like, yo, bro, like, he probably was already shooting shit at Stat Baby. And he like, yo, like, her boyfriend here, apparently I think he works for the company or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? Like, be respectful. And then I'm telling you this, and then we go live, and here you go. Shooting your shit at her when I told you to click. Like, I gave you a boundary, nigga, and you keep crossing it. So now people going to take that as disrespect. And another thing, Broner, you're a boxer, right? You're a professional boxer. You're known for being a professional boxer. Let's say Stat Baby's man feels a way about this situation and he wants to really take it there with you. You think he gonna throw hands with you? You disoriented anyway. You drunk, so you know what I mean. I don't know how well you fight under them circumstances, but it's like you think that he gonna take the time to fight you. He might really take it there with you and take something outside of boxing or outside of fighting. He might just get you dealt with. He might just do something to you. Because of how the way you disrespected him to his face. They already done gave you the boundaries. They already done had this talk with you, and here you go, just stepping on people's toes. And people, you can't tell somebody how to react after you disrespect them. You know what I mean? And by the way, this is actually edited footage. Like, this is edited. So I actually seen like deleted scenes and stuff like that. Broner was consistently shooting at Stat Baby. You feel what I mean? And this the other thing though, Broner, you a grown ass man. Broner like in his late 30s, bro. How old is Adrien Broner? Adrien Broner is 36 years old, man. You moving like a fucking kid. Like you act like you ain't got no type of discipline. You can't stay focused to save your life. It's like, bro, come on, man. Like if you really wanted, like let's say like you really did want it, like you really are in awe of Stat Baby, and she's a pretty woman. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with that. But it's like if you genuinely felt like you was in awe with her and you might want to shoot your shot, that's some shit that you do behind the scenes. Like you doing this shit for everybody to see, and it just looked corny, to be honest with you, man. Like if you really shoot, that's some shit that you do on the side, so y'all could just both have that conversation. You might have had a better opportunity. I mean, she had a nigga anyway, but I don't know her personally, man, and I just be knowing that these hoes be going. You feel what I'm saying? So if you probably would have had a better chance if you just rapped with her one-on-one. But you over here putting her in an uncomfortable spot, and of course, when they're in that situation, they're not going to really give you an opportunity or even encourage the shit that you're doing altogether. So. Look, Cameron is doing everything he could. You can tell he fucked with Broner because if he didn't, he would have been got him up out of there or been pressed him. He giving this dude chance after chance after chance, and they're trying to let the show continue going, but Broner just won't let it go. Cam shouldn't have said anything behind his back. What are we even talking about though? What was it that he caught? Well, he caught him. I think he caught him like a junkie or some shit. I don't know. I don't know. He probably said that to his face, and then after the fact, didn't say it to him. I don't know. But one thing I do know is that if anybody shouldn't have did something, it was Broner. Broner initiated this whole situation. So Adrien Broner being disrespectful, and all of a sudden Cam owes him some respect by saying, like, I don't know, bro. Broner was excessively being disrespectful throughout the entire course of this thing, and now we asking Cam to be respectful of Broner and say shit to his face. Is like, y'all motherfuckers can't have it both ways, though. You feel me? But anyways, let's continue.
You're amazing.
All right, hey, we gonna have to actually go, my nigga. I mean, I have to actually go, man. I'm gonna pay you for your time, for being here. I appreciate you. I love you, my nigga.
I'm not doing it again.
Yeah, no. I can't. I asked you the first time. I don't have no problems with you. I'm gonna pay you for your time, but you can't violate, bro. I told you that.
I'm not though. I'm not.
Nah, I told you niggas boyfriends in here. You know when my brother
Oh shit,
know that.
my bad, bro. My bad.
Nah. But I appreciate your time.
It's me.
Nah, well, if you want to wait for us outside, you could, but I'm not gonna sit in and not value your time neither. You want to wait for me? You could, but I appreciate it, bro. You gotta step out. Thank you, man. Yeah, no problem.
Wow. Very, very, very embarrassing on Adrien Broner's part. But I'm gonna address this comment right here, man. You know what I'm saying? Said Cameron shouldn't have said anything behind his back. We can't be talking about what niggas shouldn't have did. Adrien Broner shouldn't have done an interview drunk. He shouldn't be flirting with a woman and making them comfortable excessively throughout a live show. There's a lot of things that Adrien Broner shouldn't have done. And we over here trying to hold Cameron accountable something. How about this? Cameron would have never been in that situation to say anything behind AB's back if AB moved accordingly. You know what I mean? And it sounds like some context is missing in that whole situation because I was watching the show and then I seen it cut. I seen they went to like commercial break or something. I don't know if they had a conversation during that commercial break and Cam ended up saying what he was saying. Maybe they got into an argument in the back. I don't know. But why are we addressing what Cameron's why are we addressing Cameron's actions and we not addressing Broner's? You know what I'm saying? And then you putting motherfuckers in an uncomfortable situation because they already had that talk with you prior to the show and they like, yo, her nigga right here. You know what I mean? Show some respect. You know what I mean? Don't put us in a situation where, you know what I mean? You making people feel uncomfortable because that's not what we here for. We here to run the show. We here to be professional. We here to, have good energy. You doing this constant, this damn near like harassing. You damn near harassing this woman. You fucking the whole show up. You fucking the whole rotation up, brother. So it's like we over here talking about what Cam shouldn't have did. That shit would have never have happened if Broner was moving how the fuck he was supposed to be moving. And like I said, ain't nothing with you being attracted to a woman. You know what I mean? That's something that men do. We're attracted to, we're visual people. So when we see an attractive woman, yeah, we're gonna be looking, but there's a certain way to go about things. And like I said, you know what I mean? If you genuinely wanted an opportunity at Stat Baby, Treasure Wilson, whatever y'all want car, and that's something that you could have did to the side. You know what I mean? She could have said yes, she could have said no, and then you could have went about your way. But you made you made your bed. Now you got to lay in it. You can't be mad at how the way people react to your disrespect. So that's how I look at the whole situation, man. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers is telling Cam that they need to be honorable or whatever. Like, if anybody needed to be honorable, it was the motherfucker who initiated it, who started this whole dilemma. That's just my personal opinion now. Adrien Broner, like I said, he has a serious issue, man. Alcoholism is a real thing. Addiction is very real. It is a disease that's very hard to overcome. I grew up around alcoholics, so when I see Adrien Broner, it reminds me a lot of the people that I, experienced in my younger days. You know what I mean? And that's a hard battle to get over with, man. I had people in my household who alcoholism has been something that has been a constant theme in my life since I was a baby. You feel what I mean? Whether it was, you know what I mean, like my mom and like my stepfather and stuff like that, they would indulge in liquor heavily and some toxic things would result. A lot of toxic things would occur as a result of that between their relationship and tension in the household and all that. Like I said, there was corners in neighborhoods in the neighborhood I grew up in that all they would do was just sit around and drink and witness, and saw a lot of things happen. Lives be taken because of people not managing their liquor, accordingly. You know what I mean? I've dealt with women in my life who, developed a addiction that an addiction to alcohol where I had to separate myself from him, and it still affects me to this day. And that's why I always vow to never, and I've never been drunk a day in my life, and that's the reason why I refuse to take part in any type of alcohol activities. I don't go to bars. I don't even go to functions that, unless it's like family or like a really good friend of mine. I don't even go to functions that have alcohol. When I be doing like my parties here, I'll let a homie or two bring some alcohol, but it's not about to be like centered around alcohol. Like, I don't even like being around people that are drunk because it triggers some of the trauma that I had experienced in my childhood. You feel what I mean? So I don't even play like that. You feel what I'm saying? I'm heavily against alcohol. I don't judge anybody for drinking it. Like my girl, she drink alcohol here and there. But you know what I mean? I don't like to be around people who are consistently finding ways to drink alcohol. I just can't be around you. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my thing. You feel me? So Adrien Broner, like I said, he got a serious issue, man. People been asking for Adrien Broner to be focused for years on top of years on top of years. And all Adrien Broner had followed up with was empty promises. And he ruined his life as a result of that. Because let's keep it 1,000. The best years of Adrien Broner are behind him. His cash cow days are behind him. You feel what I mean? So, all right, Teach. I'll be here, brother. Don't even worry about it. I'll be here. Feel free to ask that question whenever you're ready. But yeah, bro, I get heavily triggered by alcohol. So when I see people, fall victim to alcohol or make some mistakes due to alcohol, it's just sad to see. I'm gonna just say that it's sad to see Adrien Broner go out this way, and it just looks like he carries it as if he doesn't have an issue. Like, bro, everybody that you done been friends with, bro, they're not even around you no more, and you making it seem like it's because niggas switched up on you. Like, no, you have a serious issue, and ain't nobody about to hold your hand like they your motherfucking father. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you said that Tank gave you a couple dollars the other day, and that made you cry because you used to do the same shit to him. Yeah, them tables turned because you wasn't responsible with your health and how the way you was going about things. Not just like your health, like in terms of being in shape, but your mental health as well. I could see Adrien Broner and tell that he has some serious psychological issues. I don't know if he experienced some things in his childhood like myself that's really, ate him alive. I don't know if that's the case. It could be so many different things that, I'm not aware of that Adrien Broner went through, and that's why he is the way he is. Because a lot of these mental health issues usually stem from things that they experienced in the past, like hoarders, for instance. You know what I mean? Like hoarders, like if you ever watched that show on A&E, their houses, they have trouble walking through their houses because they got so much garbage. And, a lot of the times, like this person may be a hoarder because their father passed away. You know what I'm saying? Or, this person, it could be anything. You know what I mean? Somebody did something to them when they were a child. A pedo did something to them, and ever since then, their cope, the way they cope is by keeping things and shit like that. And when I see Adrien Broner, it just makes me feel like, and I'm not no psychologist, something really struck a chord with him in his younger years. And I think I don't know if it was lack of guidance from his father. It could be anything, but it's just a shame to see Adrien Broner go about things the way that he's going about it. You know what I'm saying? And I wish Adrien Broner well. I hope he does better, but I think Adrien Broner is the type dude where he feel like he don't need no help. You know what I mean? Or he refuses to look for help. So unfortunately, and it's sad because Adrien Broner got a lot of kids, bro. He got a lot of people that he's supposed to be looking after, but and I come to realize this as a father as well. The best way to look after your kids is to make sure you're looking after yourself. You know what I mean? I always make sure Micah good. You know what I mean? My son, by the way, that's my son's name for those of y'all who don't know. But I had to realize, especially when I was having health issues early this year, Micah can't be good if I'm not good. So I got to really prioritize my health, my well-being, so that I could be the great father that Micah needs to be. You know what I mean? I hope Adrien Broner, most likely you won't be listening to this, but I wish I could have a conversation with AB. I know that most likely it'll fall on deaf ears, but you know what I mean? I've seen people go down the same road that AB's going down. And it's a dark, nasty road, bro. Like, it's a road that a lot of people don't really make it through. You know what I mean? And I'm going to just pray for him and his family, bro. Like, that's the best thing that we could do. He does irritate me. Very, very frustrating to see Adrien Broner go out this way because he a grown-ass man. And no 27-year-old man should be telling a 36-year-old man to get their life together. But, you know what I mean? Some people just have it together more than others. You feel me? So it is what it is. Shout out to the boy Yasir Ali. He says, yo, they about to make Jake Paul and Tank a pro bout. They finna announce it tomorrow. That's crazy. So if they do make it a pro bout, whatever commission that is, that just shows that they corrupt. You know what I mean? Because there's no valid reasoning as to why this should be a professional bout, considering the fucking weight difference between the two in itself shouldn't be a sanctioned professional bout. That should just be exhibition. You feel what I mean? But you know what I mean? I guess when you got a couple dollars, you know, people would change the rules up for you. That's just how the way this shit go, especially in boxing. You know what I mean? Turkey Yellow Sheik ain't had to do nothing to earn his stripes in boxing to get the respect and all. This motherfucker just needed to have money, and everybody was on wood. You know what I mean? So I guess money is the answer to everything with this boxing stuff, unfortunately. I wonder if, because let's say they do make this a professional bout. Let's say Yasir Ali talking the truth, right? Let's say, God forbid, knock on wood, one of them gets hurt. One of them gets hurt, like how the way these boxers do, something with the brain, whatever. Then what? What's gonna be y'all what's gonna be y'all explanation for that? Right? What would be y'all explanation for that? These motherfuckers, one guy has trouble making 135, and Gervonta Davis, he said he walk around 138, fighting at 135. Then you got somebody who weighed 200 plus for Mike Tyson and just fought at cruiserweight, 200 pounds for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., right? So it's a 70 plus pound weight advantage. And let's say Tank is like 140 for the fight and Jake Paul's 190 for the fight, right? I think the lightest I ever seen Jake get down was like 175, some shit like that. So let's say it was like 150, 170. That's still a 25-pound weight difference. Somebody gets hurt in that fight, and let's say it's Tank. What's going to be that state athletic commission's excuse for why Tank got hurt? What's going to be their reasoning behind it? Because you already know what fans going to say. Why would they let this fight happen? Man, these guys aren't even in the same weight class. Why would they let this fight happen? So that's why it's like, there's money to be made in boxing, and yeah, we all got to get the money because we don't know how much longer we're going to be here. But all it takes is one unfortunate situation to make that money not worth it. That's all I really got to say about that. Shout out to the 31 people that's in the building, man. Shout out to the 31 people that's in the building. I actually want to find some additional clips. Let me see. It's just the same clips that's going around time and time again. Let me go ahead and address this right here. Let's check this out. Let's share the screen for the people to see. This is what I guess pissed people off about what Cameron was saying. So let's hear what he got to say.
I'm going high.
Say that again. I'm sorry. Let's take that over.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'll do it again. 5.
Someone this nigga want to talk to me. And nigga, you a alky, nigga. I don't want to talk to you, nigga. I just needed you for entertainment for the show. Fucking junkie. Go ahead, man. My bad.
No, you're all good. 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome back. Now let's get into our underdog picks of the day on Thursday.
I'm going high.
Say that again. I'm sorry. Let's take that over.
Yeah.
Nigga, I'm sorry.
I'll do it again. 5.
Someone this nigga want to talk to me. And nigga, you a alky, nigga. I don't want to talk to you, nigga. I just needed.
To be fair, Cam, you did say that if he wanted to stick around after the show, that y'all could talk. So I don't know if something happened after the fact that just made Cam say, no, I don't want to talk to him no more. But you did say after the show that y'all could chop it up. You did say that. I literally just heard you say that. So I can see why I guess some people was critical of Cam in that situation. And then you went to say you love the nigga and all that. And then now that I hear this, it is kind of weird that Cameron made them statements. You only use them for entertainment purposes. You just telling the nigga that you fuck with him and you love him. Strange.
I'm going high.
Say that again. I'm sorry. Let's take that over.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'll do it again. 5.
Talking about this nigga want to talk to me. And nigga, you a alky, nigga. I don't want to talk to you, nigga. I just needed you for entertainment for the show. Fucking junkie. Go ahead, man. My bad.
No, you're all good. 5, 4, 3, 2.
That is a bit strange on Cam's part. I ain't gonna lie. Because I was listening to I watched the whole thing in its entirety. It was like an hour and like 15 minutes. I was listening to it while I was riding around getting some things done for the crib. And he told Broner that he loved him. He said that he fucked with him. He said that he was a fan of him. I heard him say all 3 of those things throughout the course of that interview. So that one situation, now you saying that, and you said, like, you got to go, my nigga, you know what I mean? If you want to sit and wait and then we could talk after the show, we could do that. Now you saying you don't want to talk to him. He a junkie. You only brought him on for entertainment purposes. It's like, damn, you pretty much did a whole 180. If that's your man's, I don't think you would necessarily say that. So it is a bit confusing. You said play it again? All right, but I'll play this one more time.
I'm going high.
Say that again. I'm sorry. Let's take that over.
Yeah.
Nigga, I'm sorry.
I'll do it again. 5.
Talking about this nigga want to talk to me. And nigga, you a alky, nigga. I don't want to talk to you, nigga. I just needed you for entertainment for the show. Fucking junkie. Go ahead, man. My bad.
No, you're all good. 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome back. Now let's get into our underdog picks of the day on Thursday.
I'm going high.
That was kind of strange. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was strange on Cam's part. He did like a whole 180. Yeah, I definitely don't respect that. But at the same time, like I said, if Adrien Broner didn't carry himself that way, I don't think that would have gave Cam a reason to take that approach. So, you know what I mean? That shit. He said, y'all must be new to Cam. No, I'm not new to Cam. I just seen people being heavily critical of Cam for what he said, and I kind of understand why they being critical, because if you watch the whole interview, he was doing nothing but saying, like I said, he said that he was a fan of Broner, was bringing up his history and all that, said that he loved him, said he fucked with him and all this shit. Like you saying, like you giving him all this reassurance that he your mans and shit. Then after you kick him off, you calling him a junkie, a alky. You only brought him on for entertainment purposes. It's almost like, I don't know, that's kind of like some wish-washy shit, to be honest with you. But like I said, bro, all that shit, even though Cam made like a little bit of a 180 on some weird shit, can't blame nobody but Broner for this situation. You feel what I mean? Broner just got to be more responsible with how the way he drink, which, you know, with him being a severe alcoholic, that's something that he's been lacking, drinking responsibly. And I don't know, bro. I don't know what the fuck is going to take for Adrien Broner to wake up and, you know, get his shit together. But like I said, his best days are behind him. His cash cow days are over. You know what I mean? A whole new generation is taking over with boxing. And, you know, at 36 years old and all that fucking damage you done did to your body. And it's been showing in your latest fights too, by the way. Like, Broner is nowhere near his prime anymore. That alcohol done took all the prime. Whatever prime he had, alcohol done took all of that away from him. You feel what I mean? And your actions warranted all of this, man. To be honest with you, like, you excessively flirting with this girl, and she clearly uncomfortable and not interested in you. Her nigga is actually on set. Y'all had that conversation previously. And here you go, stepping on niggas' toes. So if that's how the way he can react, then that's how he react. It is what it is. He wouldn't have had that angle if you didn't take the approach you took. It is what it is. No pun intended. AB could have been on Bud level. I doubt that. I don't think he had the abilities or the talent that Bud had, even when he was at his peak. But AB could have definitely been retired by now and had his faculties if he, moved correctly. AB could have definitely been like Danny Garcia on some shit where it's like, I could retire right now. I'm invested into this. I'm invested into this. I'm invested into this. I'm cool. I don't need the box no more. Adrien Broner on some shit where it's like, I threw all my money away. Remember when that nigga was flushing money down the toilet and throwing bread in Walmart and all that shit? I bet you he missed every dollar he done threw out there and flushed down the toilet. Can you believe that? Motherfucker was flushing money down the toilet. Like, God don't like ugly, man. God really don't like ugly. What up, Smoochie? What up? Big Soldier MX, what up? Justin Jackson, I ain't even say what's up to you. What up, brother? That can, man. I'm AB. I don't need no change. Motherfucker need some change now. He definitely need every dollar. Every dollar he threw in that Walmart, he need that motherfucker. He lucky Cam paid him. It looked like Cam probably gave him a couple thousand too. AB lucky he's still alive. Shit. He been in a couple close situations too. He's talking about how his car got all shot up and all that crazy shit. I remember they pulled AB over. He had all these bullet holes in his car. Yeah, bro, it's a shame. People call him Boots, not AB. Boozy not. Yeah, Boozy not playing that shit, bro. That's real guidance that Boots got. Boots got a real support system. He got brothers that made their mistakes, so they making sure the younger brother don't make the mistakes. He got a father who's on him and making sure he on top of his things. He got a mother who, you know what I mean? From what I understand, very religious woman who was very caring and, attentive to her kids. And, Boots got a different type of structure in his life. And Boots don't even drink. I know that for a fact he don't drink. At least AB knows how Cam really feels. Hey, man. Yeah, I mean, that's one way to look at it, 3 hits. That's definitely one way to look at it. But it's like, he called you a alky, he called you a junkie. I mean, is he wrong? Broner came out and admitted that himself, that he's an alcoholic. So if you coming out here and admitting that you a drug addict and somebody called you a crackhead, are they wrong for that? Or are they just telling you some shit you done said yourself? I don't know. If you an alcoholic and somebody call you that, you shouldn't be mad at nobody but yourself. Yeah, Des, I heard about that. I try to stay away from that type shit, though. You know what I mean? Yeah, he was very unprofessional, very disrespectful to Cam. Very, very disrespectful. But anyways, man, I hope AB get it together, man. But to be honest with you, and this is coming from people, she said, look at Mastermind. He living his truth. He was in the comments, too. I don't know what he doing. He was just in the comments. He was in the comments earlier on the live. But, damn, nigga said AB might be the next Diddy. That's wild. Des says, hold up, why ain't Tank come help his boy? Well, he did say in the interview that he ran into Tank at the casino. They chilled the whole night. And when Tank dropped him off, he gave him every dollar he had in his pocket. So he said, yeah, man, Tank made me cry and all this shit. So I just think that, look, man, this how I see it. AB a grown-ass man. That's first of all. So shouldn't nobody else be having to look after you, especially when you made millions of dollars. You know what I mean? And I'm sure Tank, and look, you can't help a nigga who don't want to help himself. What has Adrien Broner done to let us know that he wanted to, put the liquor down besides going to a training camp to go make some money to fuel his habit? He hasn't done it. Has he checked into a rehab? What has he done? Has he been to some AA meetings? What has Broner done to show you that he wants to be a changed man? If he's not willing to be a changed man, what the fuck can Tank do about it? Nothing. I remember when AB was talking about unaliving himself. Floyd Mayweather took him away, had him distracted, and had him focused on boxing and stuff. But what AB do? AB took off and went back to doing what he was doing. That nigga don't want no help. He is who he is. Motherfuckers just gotta accept him for who he is and go about their business. And like I said, ever since Tank walked away from AB, he been doing way better. If you're around the wrong motherfuckers, bro, they could weigh you down and really take away from how great you could possibly be. Because I'll tell you what, if Tank would have stood around AB longer, he would have ended up just like him. Tank was lucky enough to understand what was going on. I was like, oh, yeah, I got to remove myself from this situation. Because it started hindering his performances, like that Yorkers Gamboa fight and all that. That shouldn't have been a tough fight for Tank. But Tank was feeling the effects of cutting them fucking corners and going against the grain in boxing. Once he realized that, he was like, oh, shit. Because one thing about Tank, he said it, his worst fear is being embarrassed and losing. So he was like, oh, shit, what do I got to do to not face this fear? Let me go ahead and get the fuck away from this nigga because he a bad influence. It's true. Can't feed someone who don't want to eat. That's a fact. That's a fact, son. Sean Ramsher says he might need therapy. That will help him look within himself and answer. The problem is the boxing industry amplifies the worst in people. Well, I think it's more than just boxing. I think it's money. You know what I mean? You get the money through boxing, but it's really money. Money magnified. They say that money changed people. I'm one of the people that believe that money just amplifies whoever you are. So if you a piece of shit, you get yourself some money, you become an even bigger one. If you are a snake, if you get a couple dollars, you'll be an even bigger one. Whoever you are as a person, it'll just intensify it. That's just what I personally believe. So if AB's an alcoholic, if you give the motherfucker some money, he might turn into a bigger alcoholic. You know what I mean? Era at least changed a little bit. Yeah, but he changed when it was too late. The damage that he sustained by having those habits is irreversible. So it had to take a near-death experience for Earl to be like, yo, I'm done. But by the time you're saying you're done, it's too late. Am I going to DSG's farewell at the Barclays? No, I'm not. I'm not even going to the Boots fight, Smoochy. That's why I was asking, who you got the other ticket for? You said, man, no, I only got a ticket. Like, whatever. But I don't know. All these fights be happening on weekends where I got my son. I got my son, man. Does Errol still drink? He said no. Earl said the worst mistake he ever made was drinking. I just don't understand these boxers because I remember Earl saying that, you know what I mean? Like when he sees somebody else stepping shit, he know not to, You know what I mean? When he see people stepping shit, he know not to step on it. You feel me? Like he see other people make mistakes and he learns from other people's situations and he knows not to do certain things. But then you partaking in the activities that you seen fighters make in the past and it costed them. So it's like you seen how liquor and drugs affected boxers in the 80s, 90s, like in damn near every era, and you still chose to do it because you felt like you was invincible. You gotta elaborate, Justin. What you mean by people talk? What you talking about? When he a little older, like 5 or 6. Yeah. When my son because see, my son's at a stage right now where it's like he'll see like 20 different things in front of him and he needs to touch all 20 things. So it's like he's very active. He zooms all over. Y'all seen him on the live. He be zooming all over the place, wrecking shit, touching shit, trying to break things and fix things and put things over here and put things over there. Like my son be rearranging the gym by himself. So it's like he's not at a calm stage yet where I could bring him to them type of events. You know what I mean? So once my son settled down and his brain slowed down at least, I'll start taking him. But I'll be having him in the gym and stuff like that. But, you know, big events like that. And plus my son, he asleep by 8:30, 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? Yeah, my son going to be trying to take over like oh my God, my son was to see that Jumbotron. He probably try to climb up the motherfucking ceiling and touch that Jumbotron. That's how he be. My son will go crazy. Yeah, my son just turned 2 a few months ago. You know, he turned, man. Yeah, my son be sleep like 8:30, 9. The other day, this nigga was asleep. When I had the fights on, when I had the live fight party here, my son was awake at 11:30. And my son got a whole bunch of toys. He got toys that light up, like educational toys. And this motherfucker, I left one of the toys in there, and he was playing with it all night while we was watching the fight. He was playing it all night. And my girl was like, yo, he's still awake. He was happy to see me. I'm like, what? I took the toy away from him, turned his little sleeping music on, turned all the light. He went right to sleep. I'm like, damn. Shit was crazy. But anyways, let's talk about, speaking of fights, let's talk about the rumor that's going around. Let me actually pull this up for the people to see. Let's pull this up for the people to see. And this is like the advanced negotiations between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. And I see these guys like doing the promotion behind us. So that usually, you know, it makes me a little bit optimistic because at least with Devin Haney, Teofimo wasn't doing any of this. He wasn't confident with making that fight off of the rip. But I think what surprises me more than anything, besides them, you know, actually seeming to be finalizing the fight soon, is who they're doing the fight with. And then come to think about it, it kind of makes sense why Steven Espinoza and Shakur Stevenson was in the same room during that Sway in the Morning interview. Now that I think about it, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, this is Boxing Scene right here, man. Shout out to Boxing Scene for putting together this article. It says, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson making strides as a Turkey Al-Sheikh backed PBC event. So what that basically means is it's going to be a PBC show that's going to be funded. It's going to be funded by Turkey Al-Sheikh, just like how Turkey will put the bread up for a Matchroom bout, a Golden Boy bout. He's looking to do the same thing with PBC. So it says representatives connected to the talks to stage a Teofimo Lopez Shakur Stevenson showdown in early 2026 are bullish on the progress for a bout being pointed for New York. The meet is between Brooklyn's Lopez and Newark's Shakur is currently being planned as a premier boxing champion, or also known as PBC card, that will receive the financial support of Saudi Arabia boxing financier. Financier? I don't know if I said that right. Turkey Al-Sheikh, 2 sources who've been briefed on the talks told Boxing Scene. Let me see. Teofimo Lopez and Stevenson spoke of their mutual excitement for the bout while attending last week's Crawford-Canelo fight in Las Vegas. Let me see. More details about the negotiations to be forthcoming soon. PBC is pressing to stage a steady delivery of pay-per-view cards. In October, powerful manager Al Heyman's company will distribute a card headline for Sebastian Fundora and Keith Thurman on Prime Video and pay-per-view.com. We know that already. Given PBC's usual placement of New York fights at the Barclays Center, the venue is seen as the favorite to land the bout. So according to what they're saying right here with Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez possible bout, it'll be a PBC event. Most likely it'll be pay-per-view. It's going to be backed by Turki Al-Sheikh, and most likely it'll land at the Barclays. So this will be going on in Teofimo Lopez's supposed hometown. But Newark isn't even that far from Brooklyn. Let me see exactly how far it is. So it's only about 47 minutes, y'all. It's only about 47 minutes. And that's probably with traffic, to be honest with you. So, you know what I mean? That's probably it's not that much of a disadvantage for somebody like Shakur Stevenson. You feel what I mean? I don't think he will mind actually making that fight happen at the Barclays, to be real. And you let these people tell it, T.O. not even from Brooklyn anyway. So, it is what it is. Now, what do I think about it? I think it is a bit surprising that this is going to be picked up by PBC. But now that I'm thinking about it, I did see that Teofimo Lopez had a PBC hat on at one particular time. So that let me know that he was talking to PBC at some capacity. And then seeing Steven Espinoza, who, currently, from what I understand, has a business relationship with PBC, him sitting down with Shakur Stevenson on Sway in the Morning. You know what I mean? It's really starting to make sense. It's really starting to make sense. I was confused as to why Steven Espinoza was there. I was like, why is he here with Shakur? What business relationship do they have? You know what I mean? Because the one time Shakur Stevenson was looking to see what PBC was offering to bring him on their platform, they didn't have anything for him, or they couldn't see eye to eye on exactly what they wanted. So I just thought it was done there and then. But you know what I mean? Seeing them together now, it just lets me know that all this is making sense. All of this is making sense. You said I'd rather it be in Jersey. I mean, it's not even that far away. It's not going to impact your travel at all, Smoochie, because they right by each other. Newark and Brooklyn is not that far. It's right over the bridge from what I see on this map. So why you care if it's not too far away from each other? You ain't from Jersey or Brooklyn, so why you worried about it? Shit. That's like I'm from Philly, and Boots and Virgil happens in Camden, or happens in Cherry Hill, or Pennsauken, or Trenton. Would I care? Trenton and Philly were right next to each other, only a bridge away. I could give a fuck. Oh, you talking about parking? Yeah. When I went to the Barclays at one time, that parking was a bitch to get out of. So I feel you. I feel you. Financiers. Okay, so I said it right. Shout out to Michael James for the clarification. Unless I did say it wrong, then my apologies. Could it be Shakur's manager, Jay Prince, has a relationship with PBC? I mean, possibly, James, but like I said, according to Boxing Scene, this Teofimo and Shakur are making strides as a Turki Al-Sheikh backed PBC event. You know what I mean? So it makes sense that Steven Espinoza and Shakur was chopping it up with each other, during this interview with Sway, because they have some business in the works between each other. So I don't think it's necessarily like Jay Prince and PBC having a relationship. No, it's really Shakur about to do an event with PBC. Top Rank still doesn't have a network, Ree. Nope. That's why I think they said that some fights they're gonna have soon is gonna be playing on like what they had like NUA and MJ playing on like Facebook Live or some shit. I don't even know. But I think Top Rank is still trying to work something out. He's still trying to work something out. And from what I heard, they closing in on something. From what I've been hearing. Yeah, NUA and MJ. Yeah, that was on Facebook. Yeah, so I guess that's where they're gonna be doing shit until they figure out it, until they find a home. Bob Arum need to leave the game. Nigga, he about to leave Earth. Sure, that nigga about to leave Earth. He ain't gonna be here much longer, brother. How old is Bob? He literally in his 90s, right? He talking about he need to leave the game. Man, don't even worry about it, bro. That motherfucker 93 years old. He 93. And Bob is slowing down. But I mean, what you expect? What you expect? That man was born in 1931. It's 2025. He about to be 94 in a couple months. Bob Arum got turtle blood in his system. That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't even care to talk about Cameron and that whole Broner situation anymore. That's over. That's done with. You feel me? So I guess we just gonna have to sit back and wait. To see exactly, the first, more information that comes out between Teo and Shakur. I really hope that fight happens, to be honest with you, man. I could give a fuck if it's PBC, Matchroom, Riyadh Season, BLK Prime. I don't give a fuck what network they make it on. Nickelodeon, Nick Jr., I don't care. What I'm telling you is I want to see this fight happen because I've been waiting for somebody to make an example out of Teo for the longest. And let's say Teo just beat Shakur. All right, that's a bad racist motherfucker right there, boy. That's all I really got to say about that. But I need to see Teo get embarrassed. You feel what I mean? I don't know where this confidence is coming from on Teo's part. It could be a bluff, just like how, he was seemingly confident against Devin Haney. Then, he found a way out of the situation. Let's see exactly what happens, man. Because something just it's really hard for me to trust somebody like Teo. Teo saying one thing 1 minute, then they was asking about done fighting. You gonna fight Shakur? Or we gonna play one-on-one basketball? Like why? For what? For what? The fuck is we even talking about? Why is you talking about basketball for? We gonna play basketball first, then we gonna fight. Why is you so hell bent on playing basketball? You ain't no basketball playing nigga. We ain't no basketball playing nigga. Why is we worried about it? Shakur ain't no fucking ball player neither. Ain't none of these boxing niggas ball players for real. These niggas just be, I don't know. I think this is a harder fight than Cepeda. I mean, it can be. It can be. Teo is athletic. He is fast. You know what I mean? Got some good reflexes. Got some respectable pop. He comes in great shape. And it seems like whenever Teo gets a big fight or a meaningful fight, he rises to the occasion. But, just because it's tougher than Cepeda don't mean that, Shakur is going to have a difficult time getting a W. There's some things that Shakur Stevenson has to be aware of because he's going to do certain things that Cepeda won't do. I mean, I think it's going to be more of a chess match than anything. I don't think Teo really got that dog in him to really make it an ugly fight like Cepeda attempted to do, or like I always bring this guy up, like Orlando Salido. I feel like that's the only way you're going to fluster Shakur for real is if you make the fight dirty, you push him back, you force him to fight, You know what I mean? You take his punches, but you give him, you make it as dirty as possible to make him more comfortable. I don't think Teo got that in him. I think Teo, he tries to use his brain in there, and I just see him getting picked apart by somebody like Shakur. Shakur's defense, his understanding of distance, I think that's going to give Teo a lot of problems because Teo abandons the jab a lot and heavily relies on his athleticism to close the gap. I think he's going to have a tough time closing that gap against Shakur and running into shots as a result. I can see Teofimo Lopez getting frustrated, loading up on punches, and Shakur Stevenson making them miss by a mile and firing off counters that's going to break Teofimo up. I could really see that happening. I could see Teofimo Lopez getting completely frustrated, abandoning the game plan, and getting smoked on the scorecards. Teo's athleticism and reflexes is definitely something to like. He's gifted in that way, but I do think that what really neutralizes those abilities is his mindset. I think that Teo is very fragile mentally, and I think he's easily triggered, like emotion-wise. So I think that once he faces a little bit of resistance, and we've seen this in previous fights, I'm not just making this up, when he faces a little bit of resistance or people aren't fighting the fight that he wants, he has trouble maintaining his composure. I've seen it happen with Jermaine. I've seen it happen with Sandor Martin. And he had episodes after both of those fights when he received a decision. With Sandor Martin, he was questioning himself if he still had it. That wasn't a bluff. That was him really questioning himself. That was him really showing how he felt internally because he knew he might have possibly lost that fight. With Jermaine Ortiz, he literally bursted out in tears, crying after the fight because he thought he had fucked the money up. I'm saying like boo-hoo crying, like crying like that. And Teo doesn't have the greatest feet, RC. That's a great observation. He doesn't have the greatest feet. I think people will confuse athleticism and like quickness. And like just because you have fast feet don't mean you have great feet or educated feet. It's not always the case. You know what I mean? Teo don't got the most. That's why he had trouble cutting off the ring because he doesn't have the proper footwork. There's a level of footwork that you need to have and, foot speed or whatever to be able to effectively cut off a ring. There's a reason why he can't cut off the ring. You feel what I'm saying? And you don't even need to have fast feet in order to cut off a ring. So that's definitely a footwork issue because I've seen Triple G effectively cut off a ring multiple times, and he ain't had the quickest feet. If anything, he was pretty slow. How does David cut off the ring when his footwork isn't the best? Have you watched film, brother? What David Benavidez tends to do, from what I see, is first of all, he actually uses his jab. He uses his jab for one. Teofimo Lopez doesn't use his jab as frequently as Benavidez does. But Benavidez actually beats his opponent to the direction that they're going in. You know what I mean? And what David Benavidez does that doesn't have to really make him track down fighters is he goes to the body pretty consistently. So once they're like beating up to the body and their legs not underneath them no more, they're more liable to, sit on the ropes. You feel what I mean? Yeah. Haven't heard the name Triple G in a while. Well, according to Boxing Scene and what I just read, Triple G may be coming back. Let me actually show y'all. Look, Gennady Golovkin considering ring return after successful World Boxing Championships. He's the chair of the Olympic Commission. And after a successful World Championship boxing event, or whatever you want to call it. World Championships. Now he's talking about coming back, even though he's as washed as could be. Canelo versus Triple G 2026. That'd probably be the only fight Triple G will come back for it too. Yeah, it did come out today on Golovkin. It did. It came out September 16th, so that's today. Yup. Ain't that something? Big drama show. Yup. Y'all niggas saying Canelo Triple G4. That's funny, man. The energy drink sales must be doo-doo if he want to return to the ring. Yeah, he was acting like he didn't want to talk about it. Well, he didn't, to be fair, he didn't necessarily say he was retired. You know what I mean? But he didn't say he was coming back neither. That's the crazy part. So that is pretty interesting. Thoughts on Muhammad Alakel? You think he could be a world champ? Way too early to tell, brother. Way too early to tell. He hasn't fought anybody notable to give me the impression that he could hang with the elite. So we just gotta let that man, we gotta let that kid grow and develop, and time will tell. You know what I mean? But obviously he's been doing well. So I mean, it's all about just taking the right fights and building your career brick by brick. Respecting the game, giving the game your all. As long as you get a game your all, it'll pay you back. Sean said that Triple G come back, he might be able to get his titles back. His only real competition at middleweight might be Eubank. Nah, not at all. What? Marissa, you found it. You won a trading card of Sugar Ray Leonard? That's fire. Congratulations to Marissa. That's great. But yeah, that's super fire. But Eubank, nah, I think to be honest with you, Sean, I think you thinking of Triple G too much at this point in his career. Triple G definitely lost a step. He's not the same. To be real, at middleweight right now, I don't know if he beats John Beck. I don't think he beats Carlos Adames right now. Especially with the inactivity and the age, how the way he looked in that last Canelo fight. Nah, man, I don't see it. I definitely don't see it. Anonymous said, imagine Triple G versus Yo-Yo right now. Yeah, you're not doing that. Triple G not going to fight John Beck because he's a fellow countryman. I was just saying, I mean, they probably won't fight. I was just using that as an example. I don't think he beats John Beck right now. Triple G versus Demetrius Andrade, that'll be a great fight for Demetrius Andrade. I've seen Demetrius Andrade calling out Terrence. It's just sad, bro, like that Demetrius Andrade career went the way it went. Like, he said, are you going to duck me like everybody else? I was like, bro, you know ain't nobody going to fight you, boo-boo. You know that. Oh, no, man. Highly unfortunate for Demetrius Andrade. He never got shit to play out in his favor. Who should Inoue fight next? I think the obvious answer is Junto Nakatani. That's the. I mean, I heard he's gonna fight Picasso at the end of this year, and then in 2026 he's looking to fight Junto. But I don't really care for the Picasso fight. But if that's a stay busy fight, fuck it. It is what it is. The next big fight for Inoue is Junto. Just being real. And if he wants to continue fighting after that, go to 126. If not, hang them gloves up. How old is Nayu? How old is Inoue? I mean, he's 32. So he got some time. But anyways, accomplished so much so early in his career. It's like you could afford to retire now. Like then Andre Ward retire at 32, 33. I mean, it's all about how you carry your career. You know what I mean? There will be a legendary fight right out there in Japan. That fight shouldn't be nowhere else but Japan. How many years do you think he could be in the top 3? They say boxers usually start to decline in like their mid-30s if they started boxing, early in life. If they started boxing late, longer than that. But anyway, he been doing shit. He been doing this shit for a minute, bro. I don't know. Everybody's different though. Some people prime longer than others. Some people have short primes. It all depends on the person. Mike Tyson had a short prime. Bernard Hopkins had a long prime. You feel me? Floyd Mayweather had a long prime. I guess it all depends on how your body could keep up with boxing and how the way you've been carrying yourself in boxing. Or have you taken punishment? Have you not taken punishment? Anyway, versus Nakatani should be in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Really? How selfish. Smoochie's a selfish individual. Very, very selfish. I'm learning more and more about you, Smoochie. You definitely selfish. The smaller weight classes tend to age quicker. Well, that makes a whole lot of sense because they throw a lot more punches, and that's why heavyweights usually last longer. So that makes a lot of sense. Because heavyweights, they do punch hard, but they don't throw as many punches, so you're not really accumulating a lot of damage. PEDs and scientific training been pushing athletes prime weight past way over the age of 35. Yeah, technology could definitely change some things. Life expectancies, all that. So I get it. Crawford still look like he in his prime. Well, yeah. I get it. But Crawford didn't really take any punishment in his career. I can't really name a fight Crawford had where he went to war. I seen him get hit with some shit here and there, but I never seen him take an ass whooping. I never seen him take punishment. You feel what I mean? So that's probably why he gonna last longer than the average individual. But Bud, one of them type people where he gonna have to retire from boxing before boxing retire him. It's just one of those things. He might retire after this, so we'll see. We'll see if Bo Mac was telling the truth on my channel or not. Yeah, but he didn't necessarily he got hit with some shots from Gamboa, but he didn't take punishment. It's a difference. Like if you get hit here and there, or you might get wobbled or whatever the case, that don't necessarily mean you taking punishment. When I'm talking about punishment, I'm talking about what like Earl went through with Bud. I'm talking about what let's see. I'm thinking about like what Wilder sustained in the second and third Fury fight. That's what I think of when I think of punishment. Bud ain't never been in one of those. Pac did the Margarito, yes. Or Margarito did the Cotto in the first fight. That's punishment. You know what I mean? When you go through those type of wars, you don't. Your career gets your window in your career gets smaller and smaller. You know what I mean? But the less punishment you take, the longer you last. Floyd done told y'all that. That's very true. So Bud could probably compete into his early 40s and still look youthful. I was gonna say that anonymous. I was just thinking of older examples, but yeah, the Lester and Billy fight, yes. Like Tim Bradley, the punishment he took against Ruslan Provodnikov, that made him retire early. He admitted that. Say he couldn't talk straight for a couple months and all types of shit. That he don't remember what rounds he was in, and there's still things in the fight that he don't remember. Like, that's punishment, bro. Fernando Vargas, Tito Trinidad, that's punishment. Fernando is never the same after that. Bud ain't never going through none of those situations in the 42 pro fights he's had. What Plant got going on after that loss? I don't know. I seen Plant popping out to the I mean, it wasn't Vegas. He live in Vegas, but he popped out for the Canelo Buzz situation. I don't know. Like, they asked him what was next for him, and he said that he just been chilling with his family and all that. So that just let me know he don't got a fight day. He's not in training camp. I don't know what's next for Plant, man. His last performance was very disappointing against Resendiz. Just looked fatigued, like he either overtrained. Like, to me, that just looked like overtrained, or maybe he can't really afford to be at 68 that much longer. I don't know what it is with Caleb Plant. But his cardio, he never had the best cardio, but his cardio in this fight looked absolute trash. Defense was just completely gone, mouth open. Caleb Plant got a lot of bad habits, to be honest with you. Like, he's a sharp boxer and all that, intelligent. But once he gets fatigued, it's like everything just falls apart for him. Well, Smoochie, it was called the Revenge Tour. That what Caleb Plant had when he was calling it was his Revenge Tour. So he lost to Canelo and Benavidez. So after he lost to them two, outside of Resendiz, he did something called a Revenge Tour. That was the name of his clothing line and all that. And the whole thing based around the Revenge Tour was becoming world champ again. But I ain't gonna lie, he ain't winning no world title, bro. He not. Unless he get like a vacant belt some way, somehow, against like a Turkey or whatever. He do like Plant McCumbee 2 or something for a vacant IBF. That'd probably be the only fucking way. But he not. Like, Caleb Plant not beating no M. Billy. M. Billy will fuck around and stop Caleb Plant based off of that Lester Martinez fight. If he fight Caleb Plant like that for 12 rounds, he'll stop Caleb Plant. He ain't beating no Diego Pacheco. I'll bet whatever on that. Yeah. I don't think Caleb Plant getting a world title again. I really don't. Unless PBC puts him in a position where getting a title is a layup. I don't see it happening. Who do I think has the fastest hands in boxing? I know at one particular time, Mr. Gary Russell had the fastest hands. I don't care what nobody say. He is older now. His hands are still very fast. But fastest hands in boxing. Oof, it's a good one. Got fast hands. Is there anybody who really stands out with the hand speed in boxing today? Benavidez got fast. I wouldn't say he got the fastest hands, but he got fast hands for his weight. Rashidi Ellis, he got fast hands. Maybe Rashidi. I don't know. But I know for a long time, Gary Russell had the fastest hands I've seen. Antoine Russell, anyway, bam. Rashidi got some fast-ass hands, though. I'll tell you what. The fastest hands that I've ever seen in person was by this. His name was Marcus, just like me. But they called him Freak. His name was Marcus Aguirre. Apparently, I'm related to him somehow on my dad's side of the family. But he has the fastest hands that I've ever seen. Like, ever. And like I said, I done been in the gym with world champions and all that. This kid named, they called him Freak. When I would do pad work with him, bro, I would call out a combination and I could not see his punches. When he really turned it up. When he turned it up, you could not see his hands, bro. at all. And this kid was so phenomenal. I remember he stopped 4 people in one day while I was away on vacation. I was out, I don't know where I was at, but I was definitely on vacation. And there was this group of kids that was coming to the gym. I said, I don't know how many people are over there, but you could try to see if you could get some work. They brought the 4 kids in. They was all about the same weight. My dad told me verbatim, like this was his words. All of them got stopped in one round. Stopped the one dude, one round. Other one come in. Freak did 4 rounds of work with 4 different guys. And they were amateurs just like him. Packed all 4 of them within 4 rounds. No, he never got to turn pro. He ended up having like one of his lungs collapsed or some shit. It was some weird shit that he had experienced and he was never able to really bounce back from it. It was something crazy. I don't know if it was like his lung collapsed or something. It was something weird. But he had the fastest hands that I've ever seen. He also jumped rope the fastest that I've ever seen. Like I remember he was training and like he said he felt something. And like he literally was like in the ring, like laying on his stomach and shit. And he ended up doing a surgery. He tried to come back to fight. He actually did like his last amateur bout. He couldn't breathe. He was like his lips was purple. It was some strange shit. But ever since then, he never boxed again. But that kid was the fastest that I've ever seen. I'm talking about like pros, everything. Like if y'all seen how fast his hands was, y'all be like, what the fuck? I'm telling you, pad work, I couldn't see his punches. I just hope they hit the pads and they didn't hit me. I'm telling y'all, like he sparred like this Mexican kid who was a pro. They call him like Primo or some shit. And like he hit Primo with an uppercut, bro. One punch in the fucking sparring session. This nigga nose was leaning over here. His nose went from being here to like leaning over here with one punch, bro. That kid Freak was special. He was really special, bro. He could have did whatever he wanted with boxing. But these things happen, bro. Not everybody make it. I'm telling you, Freak was special. My father would come on here and tell y'all he was a different. He was different. The things he would do, like every time they seen him spar, they'd be like, "Yo, who the fuck is this kid?" He was different. I'm telling you, I wouldn't just put that stamp on anybody. If I say you different, it's because you some shit I've never seen before. He was something I've never seen before. Speed. He had dog. He had punching power too. Defense. He'd have his hands down. He'd have his hands down. You still couldn't touch him. He was different. How old was he? I think he was only a little older than me. He probably was like probably a year older than me. Can I get him on the live? Shit, I don't even know. Because like he deleted his social media and everything. I would have to really reach out to some people. I think I got his mother. His mother is I still got one of I still see I ain't talked to him since 2024. You know what's crazy? Back when I was working at my old job, I would take the train over to go to my car. And I remember getting on the train and he was on there. I was like, damn. I was like, damn, bro, what's up, bro? He had like his COVID mask on and he had like hospital bracelets on. Like he just got out of the hospital, so he was still dealing with his problems. But yeah, bro. This him right here, by the way. So this I don't want to show the girl, but that's him right there. Special, bro. I'm telling you. He also made music, and he was pretty good at it. I found a video of him hitting the bag, but he just chilling. Let me see. So there's him hitting the bag right here. This when Pivot first opened, you could tell. You can see how he put the punches right behind each other, though. He's still fast. But he like on cruise control right here. Not really doing too much. You see how fast that three was? Really, really fast hands. I'm telling you. And that's like 30%. Sean Ranch just said, Rashidi from Mass. I'm from Mass too. Slime is from Mass as well. I don't know if he's still on the live. He said, who does? That's just some kid that was from my gym. I said, who? Somebody had asked me who got the fastest hands in boxing. I said probably like Rashidi Ellis. You know what I mean? But like the fastest hands I've seen in person was that kid. He was fucking animal, bro. I'm trying to tell you. We had some real special talent, bro. We lost some to the streets, unfortunately. We had fighters of ours that got murdered. We had real talented fighters who got arrested for murder. Y'all be knowing how they. I don't know if y'all. It'd be so just like heartbreaking when. I mean, you try to save somebody, you try to get them out the way, then you wake up and see them on the news. You know what I mean? Like I see an article, Philly Most Wanted, and there's somebody that you used to train, and they don't promise you that they was gonna stay out the streets, and the whole time they getting booked for a whole murder. You know what I mean? Like that type shit. You know what I mean? Health issues like myself. Lost a lot of people to that. It's a lot of shit, bro. Boxing come with a lot of heartbreak and disappointment. So it's like you really be in boxing, bro, you pretty much gotta be okay with being disappointed all the time and shit. Knowing how to deal with heartbreak. Amir Mansour, I mean, yeah, he was in a few different fights. I seen him. Seen him fight. I guess he just I don't know. I think he lost like a couple fights though. I think he fought. Didn't he fight Steve Cunningham? I'm tripping. Yeah, he did fight Steve Cunningham, and Steve Cunningham beat him. I remember that. He fought Joey DeWaco. I mean, he got knocked out back to back. He fought Philip Herkovich and FA, and then he was like, man, fuck that. So that'll do it. Yeah, that video right there that I showed y'all. That wasn't even him clicking for real. That was just like regular work. Yeah, man, he had his health issues. He fell in love with a white girl and disappeared. Basically. Yeah, I mean. Trying to see. I'm looking through like his followers to see like who he'd be talking to. Damn. He's very, very fast, bro. Fell in love with that weekly green bean casserole, man. Ain't no Puerto Ricans falling for that, man. It had to be something else. Had to be something else. I get it though. I see why. I see why niggas be dealing with white girls. And definitely ain't my thing, but I see why. No white girls be knowing how to play their part. A lot of them shut the fuck up and let you lead. Why you said ew? I said I clearly said that ain't my thing. But I said I see why. Because how the way they be moving in relationships from what I be hearing. You ain't gotta worry about no smart ass mouth or none of that shit. Yeah, he's Puerto Rican. Yeah. We was real close. I mean, for a few years. But as soon as he went through that situation with the lung and shit, it was some weird shit. They said like he had like some like something in his lung. Something they had to like do a surgery to some bubbles in it was something. I'm gonna try to get back in touch with him though. No, it wasn't fluid. It was like they say he had like I don't know. I really don't remember. Wasn't fluid though. Like bubbles in his he had like oxygen bubbles in his lungs. It was some shit like that. I don't remember. But we got any last questions before I get up out of here, man? Because I do gotta resume my work week starting tomorrow. So y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. You got any last questions before we get up out of here? He had that cardiac regurgitation shit. Is that what that is? Let me look into that. All right. Well, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and showed love as always. If y'all could go ahead and hit the like button on the way out, that'll be very much appreciated. You see what I'm saying? Y'all like, sub, all that good stuff, man. I'll be back at y'all again tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to continue cooking up on what's going on in the boxing world, man. We on the road to 4K. We well into the 3,100 mark, about to hit that 3,200 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. I hope y'all have a blessed, beautiful night. I'm up out of here, man. Peace. Yeah, hold on real quick. Yeah, Marissa, we got a whole lot of talent. And I'll be showing that in due time. You feel what I mean? But yeah, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Y'all have a blessed, beautiful one. Peace.